Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hey, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. And available wherever podcasts can be found.
I feel like Nigel starting the show. Make sure I have any food in my teeth.
Does that? Oh, that's cool. So anyway, speaking of Nigel, that's not really a segue.
No.
The final Smackdown on USA.
Yeah, that Nigel was not on.
I've
been on Smackdown.
No.
Interesting segue attempt.
Sadly, he was not there.
No. I'm telling you, Michael Cole and Nigel on the sports-centric Smackdown on Fox, that's the way to go.
So, yeah, they still haven't even confirmed, because I was thinking about that, and there was the WrestleVotes thing that said it was going to be
Corey and Cole.
Corey and Cole on SmackDown, and Vic Joseph and Dio Madden on
Raw, yeah.
On Raw. But like when I thought about it, I'm like, on Raw, they didn't give like Renee Young any kind of sign off or anything. I wonder if that's going to be immediate or if they're going to.
No, I read it's going to be all involved in the draft. Like announcers are going to be drafted too.
Oh, announcers are going to be drafted. Okay, all right. Who had that? Do you remember? Yeah, it was out there on Twitter.
Just information that gets thrown in my face, and sometimes I ingest it. Remember the source? Sometimes I don't.
Yeah, more often than not, I don't. So that's interesting. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's how they did it before. I remember that was something that legitimately upset me back in the day when they split up JR and King via draft. Boy, I hated that. I was so annoyed with that. I forget where all the pieces landed there, but boy, that was annoying. What's that face you're making?
Tim Morris says they still don't know. That's why. What don't we know?
No, they don't know where the announcers are.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the WrestleVotes. Hey, points to Brian Alvarez for having the scoop on the 205 news being dropped.
Well, he's an announcement. I assume he meant from WWE, but there's been no announcement from WWE. It was from PW Insider that had the report.
Oh, that's as good as sometimes that's better than WWE.
Yeah,
Mike Johnson knows what he's doing, man. So anyways, yeah, I mean, look, last night, obviously, they're just setting up the huge Fox debut. If I'm USA, I'm like, man, if you're putting together super cards like this, why couldn't you have just done that here on USA?
Yeah, no, well, it's not going to be the norm on Fox, I'll tell you what, after the first month.
Yeah, probably not. But
most definitely not. It's going to be status quo.
So they're really loading up that Fox debut, so it made last night's episode of SmackDown just sort of seem like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was set up, and that's fine.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really good matches. That Daniel Bryan Rowan one was really good.
Well, I got scared. That guy was going to have his foot come off and go pop off, and the Hangman right there.
I know.
That was
a la Mick Foley's ear.
Right, exactly.
Thankfully, a person's foot.
Look, there is a precedent for that. Body parts have come off.
There's this. This is just attached by some flesh versus a foot, which has got flesh, bone, tendon, ligament.
Right.
There's a lot more holding foot on
Cable.
body than ear, and this is different. Yeah, this is actually wrapped in duct tape in WWE. As
in
opposed
Germany,
to
apparently, it was like
elevator cable.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that's what they used.
Yeah.
But I thought SmackDown was pretty good. The sequencing of the end was kind of weird, however. And then they cut Shane's mic too soon.
Yeah, that's true. They did that. They just hit the music, and then he said, "You're."
He says, "You're on." He tried again.
Kevin Owens just started laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's figures." I mean, look, it's the last day on USA. Who cares?
Senioritis.
It's senioritis for sure. Absolutely.
And then the attack from Sasha on Becky to end the show was just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they kind of flip flopped. It was like the Kevin Owens Shane thing felt like it was a stronger punctuation to end the show.
It was, but they're telegraphing how much they feel about this 4 horsewomen thing. Like that's got to end everything now.
Yeah, which is fine.
No, I think it's totally fine.
I just felt like if it was a stronger segment, it would have served the end of the show better.
I mean, what it was the Shane thing ended on a big punctuation, and you feel like, okay, the show it's done now.
Yeah.
And then it feel like Kayla was rushing through her paragraph of a question.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna take it on Sasha Banks and tell him it's all, and she has the advantage because she's been. What do you think about that? And then Sasha
had a piece of fence there, or a piece of the cell that Sasha was using to beat up Becky.
Fortuitous, that was there.
Metaphor.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a piece of fence.
Pretty
piece
of
cell.
It's a pretty blatant metaphor right there.
Yeah, metaphor. They didn't plain up say this is a piece of hell.
Oh yeah, that wasn't red. Isn't the cell red these days?
It is. But
Yeah.
It's fence.
Yeah, it's just fence.
It's just a red fence.
But it's not literally part of the cell. It'd be red. That'd be weird if they just
So
had
it was a bit more of a bleak metaphor than you give him credit for.
I guess so, yeah. Anyway, let's see here. It was good. We got a firmly face Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He had been working face at house shows.
Yeah. Apparently
according
he
to
went so
reports.
far as to lead like a yes chant at something I thought I read.
Yeah.
Again, information comes my way. I absorb it. Sometimes I retain it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I retain it incorrectly.
I thought the
Often I don't retain the source.
I thought the Kofi interview was decent. I thought it was better
It
than
felt
the
very
Becky Lynch
natural.
one. It did. He felt very comfortable with Michael Cole. I loved the little bit about when he was saying, you got to put your hips into it. Michael Cole says, we tried that before. It didn't work. I thought that was cute.
That was good. Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan match was really good. I thought the Nakamura Ali match, although a bit short for my taste, was very good.
Yeah. I just like that we get to see Shinsuke Nakamura on TV.
And Mustafa Ali.
And Mustafa Ali.
That was an awesome match.
But that dude is going through a nasty lose streak right now.
Yeah.
And then Buddy Murphy's disappeared.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of predictable. Maybe he'll get drafted to Raw and get a
I
fresh
do.
start.
I think the thing that I appreciate most, though, is that it's funny because there was because obviously they don't have like a really large losers locker room for the women. They sent out two fairly prominent tag teams to chase that 24/7 title.
Yeah.
But which is like crappy. But the very last match on SmackDown Live on USA
one of those tag teams picking up a win. So.
was, I was thoroughly hoping that they would give that to the Kabuki Warriors, man, because I love them so much.
They're great.
And they did.
They did.
Clean victory.
It's a bummer to see Ember Moon chasing after that 24/7 title.
Yeah, she's in good company, though. She's in good company.
Shouldn't be out there. I mean, most of the people shouldn't be out there.
She's in good company. It's all right. It's all right. I feel you. No, I agree with you 100%.
I guess the hope is that
Because also, it's funny. Here's the thing. The women's division, just by who's in it, is sort of elevated that 24/7 title. Carmella was literally in a high-profile match last night, and she is a 24/7 champion.
Yeah, and then the hope too is that someone in the scene now can transcend the scene, a la Cedric, because he was mired in the 24/7 scene, did some cool stuff, and I guess someone backstage, maybe Heyman, maybe Vince, maybe somebody, I don't know, realized, oh yeah, Cedric Alexander's really good.
Wouldn't that be cool if the women just kept it and made it like a proper, awesome mid-card title? Just drop 24. They just all unionize and make a pact. We're not going to not standard 24/7 rules.
No.
We're going to defend this in proper matches.
Yes.
There you
This
go.
will now be our mid-card title.
We want a mid-card title. So, yeah, it was all right. I'm just looking forward to next week. Next week's going to be pretty killer, even if it's 1 week of good SmackDown. Of
it's going to be pretty bonkers.
Freaking A-level SmackDown.
It's the pay-per-view level show.
It totally is. It's like Big
Especially
Four.
the two main
It's
events.
like Big Four level show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, let's get right into this.
Let's do it. Show
Yeah.
kicked off with Eric Rowan, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan recap package. They love themselves at some of this.
Oh,
storyline.
sorry. Before we get started. So I watched this via the Xfinity app, which runs to my Chromecast.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
about
not
the look of the
sure.
show?
I'm not sure I get the full effect of like this. Was it in 60 frames last night?
So I paid extra special attention because before I had a chance to watch, there was a lot of people in our community that were saying, hey, the show looks different. So I didn't notice it looking like it was. The changes made to the presentation in terms of the cameras used on NXT was far more drastic, I thought, in my viewing experience than what we saw last night on SmackDown. On SmackDown, it's odd. It seems like the shutter angle was different. I didn't notice the frame rate difference. The shutter angle seemed like it was different.
Yeah.
So the motion looked different, but not the actual frames per second.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I thought the visual fidelity was less than it usually is.
That's odd.
Like the picture didn't seem as sharp.
That's weird.
And I just watched it on USA off my DVR, so I wasn't watching it live. Maybe that makes some difference.
To me, it looked literally the exact same, and I didn't even notice any major like presentation changes in terms because some people were saying like the way it was shot.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
But people were hitting me up saying, "Hey, did they get new cameras or something?" I'm like, I literally looks the exact same. But then again, I watch it like streaming through an app through my Chromecast.
Yeah.
So by the time I get it,
Well, like last week, I was talking about how I thought NXT looked really different. You didn't notice it, but some people in chat did. Some people in chat
again, the way I watch it, I think it negates the 60 frames. I guess
Maybe.
I mean, I've never tried to watch anything 60 frames through the Xfinity app.
Well, man, like I don't ever. My TV's not set to 60 frames. Like I don't watch it 60 frames. I think it's 30 or whatever. Maybe it's 120. I don't remember what the refresh rate is. But I guess if it's shot 60 frames is the difference, not so much what your refresh rate.
Yeah,
is
I think that's the case. Yeah.
You know, and I felt like SmackDown last night was still probably shot at 29.97 or 30, whatever the case may be. Just it felt like, you know how they had that short little stretch on 205 Live where they were just messing around with stuff. It felt like with the presentation, and it felt like one episode especially they shot a little differently, and the shutter angle was different, and they did a little more with the depth of field. It felt like they did like 2/3 of that.
Yeah,
at most,
if that.
But it didn't even feel
feel
drastic at all. I didn't notice any huge changes.
If nobody had brought it to my attention, I would have noticed a lick of it.
Yeah, I might not have either.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were testing out. Maybe this is how it's going to look like on Fox. I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm expecting like 70 millimeter glorious IMAX is what I'm looking at for Fox.
The wall of SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, let's hop into it then. A lot of people are saying, that like Jamie Weisner here says, to me it looked like they filmed it as if it was a movie.
Senior Nerd says, "What are shutter angles?" So I'll do the short description of this. So it takes it goes back to the days of shooting stuff on film, which doesn't happen a lot now, where as the film passes through where the lens comes in, so the light hits the film. There's a shutter there that spins, that rotates, and you can adjust the angle of it.
Yeah,
for a desired effect, more or less motion blur.
So, probably the most the most famous up until a couple decades ago, anyways. The opening battle scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Like how the dirt moves in a different way, or I'm sorry, it doesn't move in a different way, but the dirt everything sort of, I don't want to say flickers, but the motion flickers kind of.
There's less motion blur.
Yeah. So I would suggest this. Up on YouTube and do and YouTube search a test of shutter angles, and it'll show you what we're talking
that's something they emulate.
Because it's kind of thing, visually speaking.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah. Because like typically to get the standard look of the film, you want the shutter angle. For example, if you're shooting 24 frames, you want a 1/48th of a second shutter angle to get the filmic look that you're used to. And if you're shooting a 30, you want 1/60th and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Anyways, it started off with the Rowan Bryan recap package, and then Eric Rowan comes down and drops a promo. I really like his promos, man. They've been keeping this guy under wraps for ages now, and I think he does really good. He was out there by himself. He had a crowd that was, sometimes wutting him, sometimes booing him, but I thought he did a good job. He was talking about creating violence that demands respect.
He said people called him Redwood because they were looking to dehumanize him.
Guilty.
And he says he adheres to the philosophy of might makes right. That's how you know he's a heel.
Yeah, man. No,
only bad guys adhere to that philosophy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the philosophy of villainy right there.
Yeah. He was reading that old wrestling book you got me over there for our 5-year anniversary. By the way, I'm going to show everybody what you got me once your gift comes in.
Okay.
Which should be, who knows?
All right.
Man.
Have you read through any of those books over there?
I flipped through a little bit. Yeah, it's cool. I'm learning. I'm going to learn all the wrestling moves, man.
Yeah.
So I'll be dropping these obscure old timey references.
You'll be a catch.
Oh, it's a cannery lock. That's a cannery lock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which one did you start looking through? The old one or the Frank Gotch one?
You know me, man. I'm like flipping through both
Back
at
and
the
forth.
same time.
Putting them to both eyes simultaneously.
I just put it in my head. I learned by osmosis.
Exactly.
So, anyways, he's interrupted by Daniel Bryan. Crowd goes crazy for him because they like him. And
people
says
want a reason to
he's
like
in
Daniel Bryan.
He's in his wrestling gear.
Yeah.
He's out for some fisticuffs. So he comes out there. He says, if you want respect, fight me now.
Right now.
And so Eric Rowan, he ain't no cowardly heel. He's ready to throw hands.
He obliges. He's a monster heel, so he's ready to fight.
Right now.
Because he adheres to the philosophy that might makes right, so he needs to show Daniel Bryan that he's right by...
displaying his might.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Displaying his might.
The ref obliges.
Yeah, there's a ref that magically appears.
Yeah, he quantum leaped in.
Poof. Yeah. And then, yes, matches happen. But before we get to match, Steve.
Here's a word from our sponsor, forhims.com. 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. Once you start noticing hair up there, go bye-bye. It could be too late.
That is. Unless you can do something about it while you still have some follicles in that head of yours. But I ask you, Would you rather try odd solutions or turn to medicine and science to treat your hair loss?
That.
Of course you go with medicine and science, yeah?
That is correct, absolutely. No odd tonics for this guy.
No.
With forhims.com, you can be the best version of yourself with licensed doctors and FDA-approved products to help treat your hair loss. We're talking prescription solutions backed by science.
Science. Hims was created by a dude who knew that some men's health conversations are easier had online rather than in person. So with Hims, you don't have to stress about awkward in-person doctor's visits or long wait times at the pharmacy. Forhims.com connects you with real doctors. All you got to do is answer a few questions. A doctor will review your responses, and if they determine it's right for you, can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss, and it's all sent directly to your door.
And it's completely confidential and totally discreet. Get the hair loss treatment everyone is talking about, and right now, friendos can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last, and subject to doctor's approval. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy somewhere else.
Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's forhims.com/GIR. Forhims.com/GIR.
So then that got us to the Daniel Bryan versus Eric Rowan match.
Oh, man, that was good.
Yeah, this is fun stuff. This is good. Eric Rowan is basically just tossing Daniel Bryan around.
Yeah, more or less. And Daniel Bryan would mount little bits of offense, try to come back. Eric Rowan would squash the comeback and just repeat for a while. So, yeah, Rowan has the upper hand early. Ringside hits a huge fun splash, tosses Daniel Bryan to the ring post. And again, Daniel Bryan will make a comeback, in this case with some strikes. And then Rowan just knocks him down with a huge kick. We go to commercial, we come back shortly thereafter. Rowan is powerbombing Daniel Bryan to the ring post.
Yeah.
Hats off to Eric Rowan for being as gingerly as could be with Daniel Bryan. Man.
It's that can't be easy being a big power guy like him, because he's not the most agile guy in the world. He's brute force. And then having to, dealing with a guy who's small.
Just the end of the episode last week, we saw the Harper and Rowan decimate the whole ringside area, seemingly with reckless abandon. So hats off. So we're back, and then Daniel Bryan mounts another bit of a comeback, hitting a drop kick on Rowan's knee. Follows that with some chop blocks, whips Rowan's leg around the ring post, drop kicks it into the ring post again. But then Rowan comes back again, tosses Daniel Bryan the ring steps, and then dumps him face first on the barricade.
Yeah.
We go to picture-in-picture. We come back from that. Daniel Bryan avoids a powerbomb, sends Rowan outside, tries to hit a suicide dive, but Rowan catches him. Daniel Bryan escapes and then pushes Rowan to the ring post. Back in the ring, hits a missile drop kick, hits the yes kicks, goes for the pin, only gets a one. Rowan goes for an iron claw. Daniel Bryan reverses into a guillotine, transitions to label lock. Rowan gets to the ropes. So Daniel Bryan's about to run the ropes. Harper shows up on the apron out of nowhere.
Yeah, again, quantum leaps in.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan kicks him, follows with a suicide dive, which sends Harper over the announce table. Harper just gets up, completely no-sells it.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bryan kind of backs up against the apron. Rowan grabs him from the floor, picks him up with an iron claw off the apron, slams him down, but Daniel Bryan's foot gets kind of caught in the ropes and gets wrapped around it.
Yeah.
It could have been bad.
That could have been, especially if it was elevator cable. So the ref starts, I think Rowan first starts to do it, and I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan just said, "I'm fine, hit me," because then Rowan just goes immediately down and smashes him and sort of backs off and lets the ref do it, because I think they all understood it'd be kind of goofy if the heel then helped out Daniel Bryan.
Well, I think, too, that was supposed to be the finish of the match, and you can't win when someone's foot's wrapped in the ropes. That's the other issue.
I haven't looked at the rule book, but you're probably right about that.
If you have your foot on the rope, that breaks up a pin. So imagine if your foot's wrapped in the rope.
That's a good point.
I think you can do a pin. So anyways, They free Daniel Bryan's foot.
The ref gets into him, and then Rowan sees what's happening. He's like, "This isn't going to work." So he sort of, tries to menacingly pick up Daniel Bryan, which will kind of automatically flip his foot out.
Yeah.
He does that, goes in there, and gives him the thing again.
Another iron claw and gets the win. Then he goes ringside. He and Harper clear off the announce table. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Roman Reigns comes down to make the save. But then shortly thereafter, numbers advantage for Harper and Rowan. They have the upper hand. Daniel Bryan comes to, selling the leg pretty well, too. I don't think he's hurt. He's just doing a good job selling that leg.
Yeah, because there was a couple times, because I was looking very closely at that thing. There was a couple times when he needed to use it like full mobility, and he couldn't make it look like it hurt. He just was fine.
Yeah.
You know.
So Daniel Bryan enters the fight. He's back in the ring. He lays out Harper with a knee plus, like when he was running for the knee plus. The first couple steps, he was selling his leg, and then he's up to full speed and really didn't. Rowan grabs him for an iron claw, and then Roman breaks that up with a spear. Rowan offers his hand to help Daniel Bryan up. Daniel Bryan slaps it away, grabs the mic. He asks the crowd, do you want to see me and Roman kick the butts?
I just need to hear one word.
Yeah.
That's how everybody, I'm a face when I like the word yes.
Say the word yes, yes.
When I'm into the word yes, then I'm a good guy. And of course he said, yeah, you guys want to see us fight these guys on SmackDown on Fox, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's for Hell in a Cell. Yeah, it's on Hell in a Cell. It was announced for Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. And everybody said,
yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
I'm so used to everybody saying SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, no, it seemed like they're pretty much stacking that show, maybe at the expense of Hell in a Cell.
Did they announce it later that was going to be the case? Okay, all right.
They had the full graphic with the fire and everything.
Okay, cool. So after that, we had, I love it though, man. It's like Daniel Bryan. Nobody does a better job of like putting over, like he still is so legit because he's Daniel Bryan, but he can lose these matches, relatively cleanly, and get these guys over and make him even better.
I love that's his MO these days. I love Eli Bands here says, Lol Roman's theme sounds just like Taz. Yeah, it's a slowed down version of Taz's
That's
theme.
exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Sort of like if you listen to The Rock's theme and listen to Sting's WWE theme, I'm not going to say it's identical, but it's damn close.
I have never, with the exception of a man called Sting, that theme song, I have never known, if you play Sting's theme song for me, I will not know what it is.
Okay.
None of them have been so like, I don't know, memorable to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Next, we had a recap of the Kofi Brock incident from last week's show, and then we got the interview with Kofi. First thing Michael Cole asked him is, why did you accept Brock's challenge?
Why would you do that?
This was after the first question. Was after the hips thing.
Yeah, that was funny stuff. Kofi, I think, was a little too cavalier in this interview. He should be laser focused, or maybe he's just like, hey, my ride is over. I can go back to doing less stressful things.
Well, maybe it's just as a thing where it's like, I've had this belt for 6 months. I've beaten, you mentioned them, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, amongst others. Anything on top of this is gravy at this point. And if I beat Brock Lesnar, man, I go in the pantheon of great champions.
I really wish that he would actually have said that.
Yeah.
Except the last part. No, like, fully understand. I'm going to get F5 to hell next week. Totally cool with that. Got this title for 10 more days.
It's been a great run.
It's been a great run.
And,
I think he cleared like Stone Cold's record.
Yeah.
Longest reign. I mean, Stone Cold never had really long reigns.
He had one long reign when he was part of the Alliance.
Yeah, but I think
he might have passed him. I don't know.
I think he's on the verge of passing that, which illustrates his reigns really weren't that long.
Yeah. So Kofi said he accepted the challenge because when he won this belt, he promised people that he would be a fighting champion, so he's going to fight.
Yep.
Makes sense. And he also says he's feeling pretty confident, top of his game, listed off people he's beat already.
It's a good list.
It was a good list.
Yeah.
It's an impressive list.
Uh-huh.
And that was pretty much that. Next, we had Chad Gable. He comes out, says tired of the short jokes. And then he's interrupted by Mike Kanellis, who the first thing he does is make a short joke. Is anybody happier to be getting paid than Mike Kanellis? He actually seems like whatever he does, I love him, man. I think he's so great. Him and Maria are so great. Mm-hmm. Everything he does, he gives everything he has. He goes to the max, man.
He's so great. Had no problem getting squashed by Chad Gable.
Nope.
Tapped out like a champ. Sold everything brilliantly. Mm-hmm. Chad Gable to a Raw and a SmackDown back to back. Man, they're taking this guy seriously.
Yeah,
I like it.
Anyway, Kanellis comes out and says he's out to impress Maria and prove that size does matter.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
And then, Gable pretty much wins immediately. German suplex, Chaos Theory, ankle lock, Bennett taps.
Yep.
And then Elias shows up on the Titantron, calls Chad Gable Shorty. We're halfway to Shorty G. And said he's written a song about him. Here it goes.
And he
It's
said
a bunch of
he
short
said, like,
jokes.
yeah, but then he said something like, I like how the crowd was like, they're fine with it until they said short people don't deserve to live. And then you hear like a ton of boos like, yeah, you went too far there. Hold on a second.
Well,
you went too far.
He quoted Randy Newman
Yeah.
with that line.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. They made a point of that commentary.
Yeah,
Whoa. Wait. Maybe they're all just not Randy Newman fans. I don't know.
it could be.
Boo, Randy Newman. I'm
Well,
not a fan of this.
I don't really care for stuff either. He did write a song called "I Love L.A." Maybe it's a NorCal SoCal thing. I'm looking way too much into it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that part. I just can't
You
stand
remember,
his
I
voice.
love L.A. We love it. You remember that song?
No, it
Yeah,
sounds horrible.
It is not very good.
That sounds terrible.
I remember that from the 80s. I remember the video too.
I just like I as much as I'm a big fan of the Toy Story franchise, his voice just bugs the crap out of me. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like his voice is like a dude who's like just rolling around in a van where he shouldn't be. What you got going on there?
I'm looking at the lyrics for this song called "Short People" by Randy Newman.
Short people got no reason to live. Yeah, they got little hands and little eyes, and they walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They wear platform shoes on their nasty little feet. Well, I don't want no short. Is there a punchline where he's joking? Don't want no. The entire thing. Wait, go to this right here. Short people are just the same as you and I. A fool such as I. Okay, so there's the punchline. He's calling himself a fool. All men are brothers until the day they die. It's a wonderful world. So there's one little passage in there.
The bridge, essentially.
The bridge of the song is where he retracts
It's
it all.
where he tries to redeem all this trash talk about short people.
Yeah.
You think he can undo all the damage of chorus and verse with 5 lines and a bridge?
Yeah. Is like the joke that he's supposed to be a short person?
I don't know.
And he's just depressed?
Is it supposed to be all
Is
self-deprecating?
there an etymology of this freaking song?
How tall is Randy
there a
Newman?
history? Yeah, that's a good question. Do they have his stats on Wikipedia? Like, where is he build from and what's his build height?
I don't know.
Is it a shoot height or a work height? Length, 2.54. Oh, that's the short
song.
people song. Okay.
Well, this is what he added. The guy in that song is crazy. He was not to be believed.
Okay. All right. Well, it's easy to say that after the fact.
That he wrote
But if you're
the
short-
song from the point of view of a biased narrator.
If you're short, you feel like a jerk at that point. Man. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, Chad Gable, good on him, and he's going to pick up this win against Elias whenever that happens.
Oh yes,
that's a guy you feed to somebody who needs a
nothing about Randy Newman's height on his Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'll look at a picture of him and see if he's with any celebrities where we can compare. We do know their height. Let's see here, Randy Newman.
They're all like headshots.
Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, here's a shot of him sitting at his piano.
Well, there's various sizes of piano, and that's not a good judge of scale.
Oh, here we go. He's pretty tall. Look at how he's compared to Woody and Buzz Lightyear mascots from Disneyland.
Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like those guys are tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at least 6 feet, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he's almost right there with the top of Buzz's giant head.
Yeah, that could be. Definitely spent a lot of time talking Randy Newman this episode, more than I cared to. After that, we got a 24/7 title recap. You don't like the Toy Story songs? You like the Toy Story movies?
You got a friend. I like that one. Yeah, You Got a Friend of Me is fine. There was like a couple that bugged the crap out of me, even though I love those movies.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
of
I've never a
movies.
fan of his work because my prime thought about or the song I know of his is "I Love L.A."
Mm-hmm, yeah,
and it's not a good song.
I just know the Toy Story stuff. That's all I know, and they kind of bug.
All right, fair enough. 24/7 title recap. What happened between Truth and Carmella? We go backstage. Charlotte's walking around. She finds our Truth. She's asking, "Where's Carmella? She's my tag partner tonight," and we make sure we're on the same page. And our Truth is like, "I don't know anybody named Carmella. I don't know anybody named Carmella who's the 24/7 champion or the
48-7-7-11
European championship."
Yeah.
And Carmella comes out, like you would assume her locker room, and says, "It's all right, Truth." And Charlotte says, "I was going to make sure we're on the same page. You got the whole 24/7 thing right now. I want to make sure that's not a distraction." And Carmella's like, "No.
And
Bailey used to be my friend.
Yeah,
she's not acting like that person."
I don't know who that is. And Charlotte's like, "Oh, this is definitely Bailey."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Whatever. Let's just do this, and we're on the same page. We're good."
And then our Truth comes up and woos.
Yeah.
Woo.
does it all weird too. Anyway, that leads to that particular match.
Yeah, it was a good
Charlotte
match,
and
too.
Carmella versus Sasha and Bayley. Again, man, I mean, Carmella, she keeps on proving herself as somebody who can hang with, the people who everybody consider are the best,
Yep.
So that's good stuff. Yeah, it's a fun match.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, latter half, Charlotte puts Bayley in a figure 8. Sasha breaks it up with a Meteor. That was cool. Sasha tries to hit a backstabber, and then Charlotte reverses like a backpack stunner type thing. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Then Carmella starts super kicking everybody. She super kicks Sasha a couple times, goes for a pin. Bayley breaks it up, and then Bayley gets out in the apron. Carmella super kicks her. And then Carmella tries to roll up Sasha. It was actually a really cool sequence where there's some stuff leading into the roll up. But Sasha reverses the roll up attempt from Carmella into a bank statement. Mella has to tap. And as soon as the bell rings, out comes the women's locker room. They chase after Carmella and R-Truth. It was pretty funny. A lot of people pointed this out on Twitter that Kairi Sane was chasing, and she had her little telescope out and
That was good.
like zooming in.
That was
pretty
good.
funny.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I think they're going to elevate that title, man.
I hope so.
I mean, probably not, but I don't know. It's look, I'll put it this way. If we didn't get that tag match last night, yeah, I'd have a problem with it. I do have a problem with Ember Moon jobbing out to Lacey Evans. That bugs the crap out of me. But talent always wins out in the end.
Yeah.
I'd like to think.
You would like to hope so.
And she'll be fine. But they had a terrific tag match last night.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
And, in the end, that sort of matters more than anything. Do they need bodies to go run around chasing that 24/7 title? Yeah, it's a minor thing. The women's division is it's less deep than the men's division, so by necessity, I understand it. Let's see here. And then we had Shane milling about backstage with his lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were going to do an official passing of the torch from the USA
the
executive
signing.
staff.
They're going to have the TV contract signing.
To the Fox people.
Like that hasn't been signed, negotiated months ago.
Right. They're finally going to do it.
Next, Mustafa Ali versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Sami Zayn has his own music played. He gives Nakamura a proper introduction.
Yes.
Calls him the poet, an artist, the king of strong style.
Mm-hmm.
Match starts pretty quickly. Mustafa Ali hits this suicide dive. He had so much darn momentum. He just about rammed his head into the announce table.
Yeah, that looks scary. I saw a gif of that after the fact, and I was like, oh, my God, this looks terrible.
It's
like
great.
I sort of half noticed it at the time, but oh, boy.
That was awesome.
No, it's not. They need to move that dang announce table or something.
See, it's awesome because he didn't get hurt.
That is
great.
Yeah, you're right.
If he had gotten hurt, it would have sucked hard.
It looked like it looked. I mean, it looked great, but it didn't look great because the way he landed. Oh man, it looked like it could have been bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. Therefore, it was great.
Therefore, it was. I don't know. A dodged bullet. Is that great? It's great. You didn't die, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I mean, you take out with the fact that he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He launched himself with such velocity that upon impact it looked great, but due to impact he fell kind of awkwardly. He could have bashed his head on the announce table.
You know what he should be doing then? He should be launching himself into the widow in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's what he should be
That's
doing.
what I was compared to, like a Ray Phoenix or Will Ospreay suicide dive where they have so much velocity. It seems like they can launch themselves 5 rows
Put some
into the
plants
crowd.
into say, hey, look, I need some plants out in the crowd. I'm going to do this cool suicide
They always
dive.
do that with Baron Corbin. They always have. Or Rowan that one week with the fan that he powerbombed.
I know, exactly. Do that with the Mustafa Ali.
So after that, Sammy is distracting Ali on the apron, and Nakamura tosses him into the ring post, and Ali is, gosh darn man, he's a bestseller.
He really is.
And he flings himself in that ring post and flies 4 feet in the air.
He's great.
It's awesome. Nakamura later on goes for a Kinshasa. Mustafa responds with a super kick, only gets a 2. Ali hits a tornado DDT. He goes up top, trying to hit the 450. Sammy pulls Nakamura out of the ring, and then Ali goes hits a tope, where he hits Nakamura. He rolls through and just stands right up.
Yeah.
Dude is like a super great tumbler.
He's superhuman.
Yeah, he is. Because he hit that, and it was like that one time where Dean was on his way out, and he hit a suicide dive and did a perfect roll and just stood right up.
Yeah.
When Dean did it, it felt like, all right, you're just not even really trying at this point.
Because he didn't even look that athletic.
No.
Yeah.
But when Mustafa Ali hits this perfect tope, and then basically lands on his feet, rolls through, and stands right up, you're like,
oh man. Beautiful.
Damn,
that's very
that guy's
smooth,
amazing.
Graceful.
Yeah, it was smooth, graceful, all that.
Yeah.
Oh, and he did over the referee too.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think Ali's getting back in the ring. Sammy starts yelling at him. So Ali goes to the floor, gives chase. Sammy runs into the ring. Ali chases him under the ropes. Stands up, eats a Kinshasa. Nakamura wins. So while Ali lost relatively cleanly, there's still substance there if they want to continue with this feud.
Man, that's my hope, because he keeps on. Yeah,
It's probably Hell in a Cell kickoff show, but hopefully the feud continues.
something. Let's get Mustafa Ali on TV every week.
Oh yeah, it's Tim Spullock's birthday. Everybody tell him happy birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh man, happy birthday to Tim. His name isn't Jim. His brother's name Kim, but his name is Tim.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Is that what we called Richard? Kim Spulak?
I think so. That sounds right. After that, we got a Shane and Kevin Owens recap package. Then the New Day had a match, if you want to call that, against the B team. Made quick work of them.
Man, dude. The B team. Can you think of any two guys who have like accomplished more and have just, they're in like a worse place right now, like in WWE? Like freaking what's his face? Bo is, NXT champion, like one of the first ones. Like
He was
the second one, I think.
multi-time FCW champion. They're former
Right.
tag champs
Yeah,
together.
They wanted so much for him, and if you go back and watch those first NXTs, man, they thought the world of him. I have no idea where that went. And then McGillicuddy, man, he was IC champion, had Heyman next to him. He was. I'm gonna say jacked, but he looked great back then, and now he just looks like a dude. Like,
Can't do much with this B team gimmick, man.
No, but okay, look at Jinder for example.
Yeah.
Remember how Jinder came back like,
Yeah, Jack Daddy. Yeah.
you always got to be ready.
Oh, I
And
agreed.
if you're showing people,
That you're putting in the work, you'll get opportunities. I understand all that.
did you see Curtis Axel last night?
The match was so short, it was hard to notice.
I
I was looking at Big E putting his legs up on the rope and admiring his flexibility.
just wonder if some people just think, man, they're not going to release me. They're going to probably give me a raise.
Yeah,
A double
odds are I
raise.
can make most of my money while not wrestling.
Right, exactly.
No, I understand that.
Exactly. I don't know. Man.
Anyways.
I don't know.
Big
I
E.
ain't trying to shame anybody. Over
No.
here.
I
I'm
mean,
just
if
saying.
people are, it's all about
Okay,
making a living.
I'll
man.
give us an opposite example of this, like Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Right. That dude always looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
And do they do anything with him?
No.
No, they don't.
No.
But at any moment, they could say, Zach, we need you for something.
Yeah.
And he'll look like $1 million, and
Yeah,
he'll
totally.
run with it.
Totally.
That's my point.
No, I understand that.
So I'm going to praise Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins for that matter. Kurt always looks great.
Yeah, he does. Pretty short match. New Day hit midnight hour. Big E pins Bo, and afterwards Big E jumps the barricade because there's a bunch of 49ers sitting front row, including noted wrestling fan George Kittle.
Yeah,
tight end for the Niners.
He had sort of like a viral video this past week
Yeah.
when he gave like a rock type intro thing in the locker room, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, must have been fun for him. So yeah, that was good stuff. Then we had Mandy and Sonya backstage. Mandy is, I think, on the cover of the new Maxim magazine.
Maxim Australia.
Did you know that Maxim is still a thing?
I don't know if it is in the States, but it is in Australia.
It is in the States still.
Oh, okay. Is it actually in print or is it only
Pretty sure it's
digital?
in print.
Interesting.
And the main reason I know that is not because I look at that particular magazine. What am I going to look at? It's all like airbrush weirdness. I like the real stuff. So, no, it's because there was like a minor thing on Twitter about Maxim trending.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they put out this thing for like, normal people wanting to be cover, like, hey, vote for me to be cover girl on Maxim. They had like some voting thing, right?
Yeah.
And that started trending, and so people started looking at Maxim and why it was trending, and nobody could figure out then at that point why it was trending, because it was trending, and the fact that it was trending became the thing.
Too many steps removed from the original reason it was trending.
Exactly. And so it would just turn into like people crapping on Maxim because it's like a big D-bag magazine.
Yeah.
So anyway, she has that. She's handing out to a bunch of lucky people backstage.
Yeah.
And this was actually a pretty good bit. Otis is back there.
Yeah. But he's in his like shoot voice, and it's really high pitched.
Yeah.
And he just asks for a selfie.
I get a selfie.
And Mandy obliges, and he just grabs one of the Maxims out of her hand.
Yeah.
And then Tucky comes in and like says, "Oh, good job, Otis."
Yeah. And then I assume one of them heads to the bathroom with it. So.
Yeah, I think so.
And Sonya's like, come on.
Or a
man,
broom
we gotta-
closet or something.
Go find the nearest bucket in a corner.
It's like, well, this looks like a bucket of cleaning solution.
Oh, Ducky.
Oh, man.
Time to go rub one out.
I know. Oh, dear.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Last match of the night was Asuka and Kairi Sane taking on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This was a fun match, just too short.
Yeah, no, it was, but it was good.
It was good. And this was... Like, I don't really care for Mandy going around telling everybody that they'll never look like her, but I do appreciate the fact that she's taking her Maxim magazine and shoving it in people's faces. That's good heel work.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, my thing is this: it's all wrapped up in the thing. If she's going to be, giving everybody Maxim magazines, then that's her thing, is her looks. So
yes.
She's going to go around saying, "You don't look like me. I'm heel." Who really, the only thing I care about is what I look like.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it.
Anyway, she shoves the magazine in Kairi's face. Kairi kicks it out of her hands and then hits the insane elbow on her for the win.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That was good stuff, man. I'm telling you, I want somebody backstage to really like Asuka and Kairi Sane, because that's the only
That would
way
be nice.
That would be awesome if that happened. Hopefully, maybe Paul Heyman will love him and he'll bring him to Raw. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I want to see them.
Asuka seems like the type of talent that Paul Heyman would love to have at his disposal
You
creatively.
would think.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, I just want to see him split up and Asuka just dominate everything. That's what I really want to see. Anyways.
Anywho, next we had Shane come down to the ring. He grabs a mic. He keeps it short. He just says, "Owens, come on down. Let's work this out." Owens does. Shane says, "I want you to drop this lawsuit. I'll drop the fine. Let's just start with a clean slate. Fresh start between the two of us." And Kevin Owens says, this for me isn't really about the money. I came out here weeks ago and said everybody was tired of all the opportunity that you were giving yourself, all the TV time you had, while a bunch of more talented people were back in the locker room doing nothing. Yeah. It's this isn't about money. This isn't about taking any of your funds from you. It's about getting you out of the locker room and seeing you get fired.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens proposes a match. He says, "If I lose, I'm still fired. I'm gone. I'm out of here. But if I win, Kevin Owens wins. Shane, you are gone from WB forever."
Yep.
And then Kevin Owens says, "Well, I'm not just content to make this a match. I want this a match where we can really get our hands on each other. You're always talking about how you're climbing the corporate ladder, and this specter of this fine's been hanging over me for so long. Let's have a ladder match."
Yeah. He said, "Have your lawyers draw up the contracts, put it in that briefcase, and put it up there next to Pat McAfee."
And then Shane says, all right. He cut his mic, played Kevin Owens. Then we go backstage, and Becky Lynch is being interviewed. Pretty quickly into it, Sasha Banks attacks. They start brawling. There's a piece of fence back there on casters, on wheels. And then Sasha slams Becky into it a couple times. And then road agents, producers come and break it up.
Road agents.
And that was SmackDown Live.
Yep. Would you like to do an NXT preview? Because NXT Live is on tonight. That's right. The Street Fight thing is happening. Speaking of which, Street Fight rematch to determine NXT champion Adam Cole's next challenger. Look at how angry Regal looks right here.
That's great, man. Look at him. He's almost baring his teeth.
You've ruined a perfectly good street fight.
After no winner was declared in last Wednesday's wild street fight, Matt Riddle and Killian Dane are set to collide in a rematch tonight on USA Network. This time, an opportunity against NXT champion Adam Cole hangs in the balance. NXT General Manager William Regal added the heightened stakes as incentive for Riddle and Dane to finish their war once and for all. Maybe if you want them to finish their war, you won't send out a bunch of security guards to go out there and break their fight up.
For no reason.
They had a fight going.
Yeah, that was lame.
Anyways, last Wednesday's brawl engulfed much of the NXT locker room, resulting in mayhem that had no chance of being contained. With an NXT championship opportunity on the line in the rematch, there's no telling how far Riddle and Dane will go to be declared not only the victor, but also the new number one contender. I predict there's going to be guns involved.
Oh, dear. Dakota Kai returns to action. The captain of Team Kick is back. Dakota Kai will make her return to the NXT ring tonight after spending all of 2019 on the shelf due to a torn ACL. How will the hard-hitting Kiwi fare in her first match back?
All right, number one, which member of the NXT Women's Division that we haven't seen on TV yet will she be facing?
Oh, wow.
My guess is Jessie Kamea.
That's who I was going to say, too. But she has been on TV. Well, she's been on NXT.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know what I mean.
I was going to say her, too.
Okay. Next, Keith Lee and Dominic Dijak to renew their thrilling rivalry. Did you see his kind of selfie promo? I posted a still of it. Yeah, like there's a cameraman on him, and then he just sort of grabs the camera from him, and it's out of focus, and I think maybe he was turning the focus. I don't know if somebody else was doing it. I don't know. But it was out of focus, and it went into focus. He's like, hey, listen to me. Keith Lee, tired of you talking about me. We're gonna have a match, okay? It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's good. Then we'll go to Arby's.
All your trash talk is bogus, yeah.
The rivalry between Keith Lee and David Putty has redefined what big men can do inside the
Magic
squared,
8 Ball says victory for me.
inside the squared circle. Afterwards, we'll make out. Both superstars push themselves to the limit while showing off their speed, power, and agility in high-flying, hard-hitting battles that had the NXT universe picking up their jaws off the floor. Tonight, the two beasts will lock horns again. Putty was victorious in the rivals' last encounter in August, but can Keith Lee even the score when this epic rivalry is renewed?
I hope so. Keith Lee needs a win. Next, Dominic Mysterio issues 6-man tag team match challenge to Kushida. After Kushida and Imperium exchange hostilities on NXT's live premiere, WWE United Kingdom champion Dominic had challenged Kushida. They didn't put Kushida's name in all caps. They're spelling it wrong.
Oh, that's annoying. They do that for Walter, but not Kushida?
That's lame. It's challenged Kushida to find 2 partners for a 6-man tag team match against Imperium this week on NXT. The ring general threw down the gauntlet over the weekend, days after Kushida interrupted Imperium's intrusion, in which they took out Kushida's scheduled opponent, Denzel DeJournette. Will Kushida have any luck finding teammates who are willing to step up to NXT UK's menacing faction? Tune in to NXT when it airs live Wednesday, 8/7 Central on USA Network.
So who do you think?
And then actually continues on the network for the second hour.
Who do you think Kushida is going to choose to take on Dominic Mysterio?
Dominic and the rest of Imperium.
Yeah. I'll go with...
Should pick Pete Dunne. He's got beef with him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to say Jordan Miles is one of them. Atch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know who else.
Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne should be one of them.
Yeah, Pete Dunne should be one of them.
Probably not. They probably want to take Pete Dunne out of that entire situation.
I don't think it's going to be Street Profits because they're going to be dealing with
yeah.
the Undisputed Era. They got a match with them next week.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a light NXT premiere. Like there's 2 hours. Although they have longer matches. So.
They do. That Keith Lee Dijakovic match will probably be pretty long. Street Fight is going to main event the USA first hour.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll probably give that time since they'll actually have the match this time.
Oh, wait. What did you say?
The Street Fight is going to main event the USA portion. They said that on SmackDown.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's cool. This should main event the second hour.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
Keith Lee and David Putty.
Although they really want to push Kushida as a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Then this.
I would be surprised if they have the Keith
point.
Lee Dijakovic match open the USA.
Yeah, you're
one.
Probably right about that.
Put on the barn burner first to get people in.
Yeah, that's right.
They really seem to
go out first,
focusing on the.
I'm gonna win this match.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. I win, right? Let's open the floor to some questions.
Dom L all the time, and we only get 1 appearance for SmackDown Live. Now that they changed the show name and the pun doesn't work, it's a nightmare. Well, it's not called SmackDown Live anymore. It's true.
Yeah, that's true. Just called SmackDown. And they've already changed over the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder contractually if it just begins today or whatever. Let's see here.
Yeah, who knows?
By God.
What we got over there?
On the Discord, you can get access to the Discord for $1 on the Patreon. Jimmy Thomas, wow. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Carmella and R-Truth being a team.
Wow.
Yeah, it was what the heck? Businessman Maddie shows a picture. He said, this is what I watched SmackDown on. Is this for real?
That's an old TV.
He's got this is a classic. This is like at least from
like
the
an old
70s,
Zenith,
man. It's like a old school TV.
That's great.
And I think it's a DVD player on top, and then a VHS on top, and
That's
then a laptop
amazing.
on top of that. Somehow he's able to make this work.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
I like he's got some what looks to be old TV on there, or is it just Wheel of Fortune?
No, I think I'm trying to see what the.
It just looks old because.
Oh yeah, no, it's Buzzer TV.
Oh, yeah.
It's a new channel, but it's all playing old stuff.
That's great.
Wow, that's fantastic. He says he thinks his parents got an 86 or 87. Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, I'll go to the Patreon here.
Let's see here. Alex C says, do you think Kushida's partners will be an old Taguchi Japan link like ACH and Ricochet, or maybe the War Raiders?
It won't be War Raiders or Ricochet because they're on main roster now. At least I'd be very surprised if that were the case. ACH makes sense, but I don't know if they wouldn't directly reference anything that Kushida did in New Japan.
Given that ACH was like Ricochet's replacement, it should be those two guys, and then they do the Spider-Man thing, point at each other. Let's see here. Head over to Patreon now.
The unretired Dwayne Nix.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've heard his name.
Three-time European champion, I believe.
Yeah.
With Brock almost certainly winning the WWE title next Friday, who should be his first feud as reigning champion?
Are they actually going to have him feud with Kofi after that?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that'd be good. It'd be smart.
Not Randy Orton.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on how the draft shakes out. But let's say things stay the same.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Miz.
That's good.
I mean, you're gonna need to feed him
Well,
some.
he's on Raw.
No. Wasn't he? Didn't he? Well, wild card rule. Just do wild
But that's
card.
not a thing anymore. They're gonna have split rosters, man.
Wild card rule.
Andy Jocelyn, guys, David Putty, Dominic Mysterio, We Book Raw. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Rawgate Mutant, huh? Okay.
Shane McCarthy, what do you guys think about 205 Live moving to Friday? So we talked about that in our news brief briefly. It's not exactly a prime time slot for him.
No, I mean that's the Impact slot, dude. The previous Impact slot, but they're not on the Pursuit channel. I mean, okay, I guess we can sort of talk about this as it pertains to us. Like,
Oh, that's Monday News Show coverage.
yeah, like our Friday nights are already kind of like messed up because of the SmackDown thing. I ain't sticking around an extra hour just to review 205 Live.
No.
I want to get out of here at 8:30, people.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the deal with that. I think it's a bad time slot, but given how hyped these SmackDown shows are, maybe the crowd will be better.
I thought of a reason why they maybe didn't want to fold 205
It'll
into
look nicer.
NXT.
There's no time.
Well, once NXT goes to USA, that's one now, but or historically 1 hour of prime original content for the network that they're losing. They probably don't want to drop. Granted, 205 never got the ratings NXT did, but they probably don't want to lose like most of their original weekly content for the network from a value proposition. So maybe they just said, okay, well, NXT's moving to cable. We can't lose 205 too because then that only leaves NXT UK as our regular weekly wrestling content.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
I think there's a variety of reasons,
probably.
including that. I'm just kind of surprised because when they talked about in their conference call like months ago that they were still mulling over what to do with that third hour of TV on for SmackDown, they said that's all still up in the air. So to me, it sounded like they were thinking, okay, we're just gonna fold this into something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not huge on it for a variety of reasons also, but whatever, it is what it is.
Michael Jensen, if Kevin Owens loses, does Triple H give him an NXT contract? That'd be cool.
Apparently, the other thing, I don't think we mention this on the news brief yesterday about how like apparently 205's creative is going to be handled through NXT.
No,
so
we
that's
didn't
kind of
mention
interesting.
that, but yeah.
So I mean, I imagine we'll still get from time to time we'll get 205 matches on NXT the same as we got last week. But I mean, yeah, if you think about it, man, like 205, it needs to be its own thing. I never wanted to see the division folded into NXT because there really is no time for it. You're only getting 22 to 25 extra minutes of actual content with 2 hours of NXT on USA.
Mr. Anderson, Bryan enlisted the help of Roman Reigns to take on Rowan and Harper, but his body language indicated he didn't want Roman's help. When he was getting up, What's your read on Daniel Bryan's mixed signals?
He was fired up, man.
It'd be great if there was some sort of swerve at the end of all this.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan, I mean, as hot as he is right now as a face, then it'd be equally as hot going in.
It's like when The Rock turned heel at Survivor Series 98.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a double swerve.
Yeah.
Said, no, I was behind this all along, bro.
Yeah, and then have Bryan and his new Bryan family take on The Fiend. Let's see here. Wolfpack for life. Are there any tag teams you would be okay with splitting up in the draft? Ryder and Hawkins. They make each other worse, seemingly.
Bob Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
No, man, get out of here with that. Somebody brought up in the comments yesterday. They said, "Do these guys not remember that Bob Roode was a tag champion?" It feels different this time.
Yeah,
they're putting him in high-profile matches. They're letting him talk. Dolph Ziggler is a bigger deal. Dolph Ziggler and Bob Roode are a bigger deal than Bob Roode and Chad Gable ever were. And the writing was totally on the wall back then.
Yeah,
it's a different situation. Let's see here.
Max Zero has an interesting question. Harper has been physically ready to return for months, so could it be his lack of metal band knowledge and matching shirts is what delayed his actual return? He had to, if he was going to team up with noted metal aficionado Eric Rowan as being like a couple of metalheads, maybe Luke Harper listens to, I don't know, Top 40, soft rock that really rocks. I don't know.
92.5.
He seems like a really mellow dude.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody he loves his Air Supply, his Celine Dion, stuff like that. And they're like, hey, you're going to come back with Eric Rowan. Here's the thing, though. Yeah. You guys are going to be metalheads.
Ooh.
He's like, metal what? Like Def Leppard? No.
No, man.
Metal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like Rat? No. Metal. All right. Well, where do I get started? Rowan's made you 25 CDs just to get started. And he's sent you a couple shirts that he could spare. He's got extras. So we'll get started with that.
And then you hear Larry David's music kick in on Harper's face.
He's all. It's like I should just learn a Southern accent.
I feel like they're on the road enough for him to get his education on the road, though.
Mm-hmm. Just Lucas, how is Mustafa not dead after the bumps he took? And who is the funniest on the roster, and why is it Big E? Big E is my estimation, hands down, most continually funny, charming, interesting character on WWE television.
It's not even close.
Nope. Nope. And Mustafa Ali is like AJ Styles. He just knows body control and knows how to land.
Yeah.
Because AJ takes all sorts of bumps. You think, gosh, he's got to be hurt.
Yeah, but he's like 40 years old.
And he gets up fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a combination of body control, knowing how to land, and flexibility.
And luck. Luis Felipe de Castro Reis. As the WWE draft is a fresh start, is a chance for a fresh start, who do you guys think are in line for a push? We've seen this happen. We saw this happen like the first draft. We saw Baron Corbin sort of get pushed a bit out of that.
I'm hoping it's Asuka.
Or maybe there's a shakeup. I don't know.
Although they seem to be focusing pretty much the entirety of what they do in the women's division, for the most part, on 4 horsewomen for the time being.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I mean, that's sort of the big
It seems
thing.
like there's really no place for Asuka to kind of work her way into the title picture between now and Mania.
Because
sadly.
the chances of the 4 horsewomen are all going to fall on the same roster. That's going to be interesting. Like if they're obviously doing something big with them, and you and I both kind of suspect they're aiming at a fatal 4-way at Mania for the main event.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to keep that going unless they put them all on, like, I don't know.
I'd be shocked if they did that. So much star power on one brand.
If they put everybody on SmackDown, and then, I mean, it's totally not going to happen. But if they put everybody on SmackDown, who's the Raw Women's Champion right now?
Becky.
Yeah, Becky is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would almost behoove them to do that so they can focus on everybody else.
You have Ember, you have Asuka, you have Kyrie, you have Carmella, you have Alexa.
Away from the horsewomen, it's still stacked.
I know.
It's still stacked.
I know.
I mean, tell me Asuka, Ember, Nikki Cross. I mean, they did amazing things in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could kill it on Raw. And Raw seems to be the place where, like, you don't need the marquee names because you're Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you can that's where The Fiend goes and that's where Braun goes. You could so do that and have it be like, man, they're not the horsewomen, but, man, they're doing killer stuff over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They should totally do that. Let's see here. I think there was another forced in here.
I think it was just Lucas. I answered.
Oh, it was just Lucas. Okay, you got that one.
Yeah, I
okay,
got that one already.
Right on. All right. Well, we're 10 seconds away from being in an hour, which is usually what we aim for. So we do have a bonus episode coming up. We're going to do chat trivia today.
Oh yeah, this will be the last week before next week. Tournament of Champions, and then the final Tournament of Champions.
Oh yeah, then we're rebooting, huh?
Yep.
And then Alex C will win the first week, and then he won't get to play for like a year. Yeah. Mr. Ollie B has one last thing. He says, "How long until Vincent Kennedy McMahon shows up?"
Oh, he'll probably be on the first episode of SmackDown.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, everybody, look at this amazing TV deal I worked out. Oh, I'm so great.
Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.